Hey, parents. So I wanted to pop into your inbox, pop into your news feed to talk about student athlete boot camp. I think we just needed to have a real conversation about it because a lot of us are not familiar with mindset coaching, right? We are familiar with the typical historical model of how to get student athletes to the next level. And what is that? Send them to camps, put them in clubs, do private coaching, work on skill sets. That's how you get your student athlete to the next level. And for the majority of student athletes, that's not even enough. They don't go. A lot of your student athletes, when that is the only investment we're making into them, don't make it to the next level. Come signing day, they're the ones sitting watching the other student athletes, the very small percent of them sitting at the table, signing, watching their dreams crush and crumble in front of them. And that's heartbreaking. I was one of those student athletes. All I lived for is to go play college basketball. The recruiters never came. I never got the letters. I went off to college heartbroken that my dream, my one chance to go play college ball, was not going to happen. And I don't want that for your student athletes. Especially now, know what I know, right? I ended up becoming a student athlete my senior year of college. I worked in higher ed for almost a decade, so I know the ins and outs of it, and I was married to a college football coach. And part of that agreement is that you're a part of the recruiting process. So I saw it from a whole different perspective as an adult. Was my dream possible as that high school kid? Yeah. I just didn't believe in myself, and I didn't have the resources I needed to get to the next level. So I ruined that dream for myself. But I don't want that for your kid. I don't want that for you as a parent, to have to watch your kid be heartbroken and watch a dream just unravel in their hands. Especially when you when you have the student athlete that's putting in all the extra hours. The student athlete that's watching their diet. They're talking with their coaches. They're showing up and doing all the right things in practice. But then it becomes game time and things start to fall apart. The pressure, the stress, and then they don't perform as well in the field as they do in practice. That is what this camp is made to end. Taking all the knowledge that I've learned over the years from being in higher ed, from being involved in human behavior and human performance and mindset and neuroscience, and combining it to create this 6-week camp for your kids to show them how to get to the next level. But it's not just about the next level in their athletic career, it's about the next level in their lives. Because the skill set your student athletes are going to be learning in this camp are the same skill sets that we have to apply to create whatever success that we want in our lives. You know, as an adult, there's been a lot of dreams you've dreamed that just have not come true. And you know that feeling of disappointment, that feeling of heartache. But if you knew that there was certain lessons, certain teachings out there that if you'd have just had, that you could have applied to your life and changed the trajectory of life, would you invest in it? For sure you would. And here I am offering it to your student athletes. I'm going to teach your student athletes how to get to the next level. We're going to go over some of the basic stuff, like recruitment, how to get seen, and if you're not seen, how to make the team still. How to still take your sport to the next level, whether you get recruited or not. What college coaches are looking for beyond just skill. And I want to drive this home for you guys. So many of you are investing thousands of dollars into your student athletes, sending them to clubs, sending them to camps, getting them private coaching. I know so many parents that are spending thousands, multiple thousands of dollars every year investing in their student athlete. Fingers crossed, hope this will end in your student getting to live their dream. And some of it works, some of it does. And for a lot of student athletes, it doesn't. Because there's a certain percent of student athletes that physically are capable of going to the next level, but their mindset, their belief in themselves, their self-confidence isn't there. I was one of those student athletes. I was athletic enough to go play. I was driven enough. I was competitive enough. I was a hard worker. I was a great student. Any coach would have loved to have me. But I didn't believe in myself. I didn't believe that I was capable. And that is something that cannot be coached by a athletics coach. They don't have time for that, right? We have to learn skill set. We have to learn plays. We have to learn strategy. I don't got time to invest in your student athletes, but you do. And that's what I'm offering this for. 6 weeks to take your student athletes' mindset to the next level. I'm going to teach them, how do you create success? How do you create the results you want? What mindset do you have to have? How do you create self-confidence versus confidence? How do you build failure resilience? Because you are going to fail your way to success, just like you have in your career. So again, these are skill sets your student athlete is going to take over into life no matter what. Whether they choose to go play college ball, whether they choose to go to an Ivy League school, whether they choose to enter into a career field, it's the same fundamental skill set. How to have self-confidence and believe in yourself, overcoming limiting beliefs, and how to become failure resilient. So I lay that foundation for them. We talk about that, how to develop it in simple, clear, simple things. It doesn't have to be complicated. And we talk about the other aspects I'll have in the email of what we're talking about each week. So you've already invested in your kid. Why not take this time and bet on your kid and bet on investing in them for this one-time investment? I'm doing a special offer this week because we kick off on Wednesday. We're down to the wire. For $997, so I took $200 off my offer. You get to invest $997 one time. This is not a fee that you have to pay every year for your student athlete to get a little bit better in one certain area. This is a one-time investment for skills and mindset that they are going to take and use over and over and over. They're going to take it to college to be successful. They're going to take it out into their professional career. These are skill sets that your student needs to create the life that they want, to create the success that they want. And it's a one-time investment. Who would not? Like, I know you're sitting here watching this. Wouldn't you have wanted back in your 20s to have this ability to believe in yourself no matter what? The ability to be resilient when failure comes. You didn't avoid failure all the time and played small in your life. That you could have gone after your dreams. You still can, by the way. But wouldn't that have been amazing to have these tools back then? Like, how different would your life have been? So why wouldn't we give it to your student athlete now? To give it to these teenagers, to give them the tools that the greats have used. Dig into Kobe Bryant and mindset. Dig into Michael Jordan mindset. Look at the great athletes. They have a mindset coach because they know how important that aspect is. Because you can be the top performer. You can have the physical structure, the ability to gain muscle mass, the speed and the agility. But if your mind isn't in the game, if you're constantly doubting yourself or you constantly wither down underneath the pressure, you're never going to play at your peak performance. And athletic coaches cannot help them with that. They can't coach them in that, right? They don't got time for that. But the athletes that are great, they understood how important mindset is and how important it is to invest in this, to change their game, to reach peak potential, to reach peak performance. Because when we believe in ourselves, we act differently. We calm our nervous systems. We show up and we play to our highest ability. But it takes both. It takes both the mindset and the physical preparedness, both to reach peak performance. So I'm going to give you an example and we'll wrap up here. So when I was in high school, I came from a small high school in Oklahoma, right? We were not great in any sports. It wasn't like we were winning state championships. So there was no reason for recruiters to come to this small town and recruit. There just wasn't. There's no draw, right? There was no student athlete at that point in our school system that was a star standout, right? Like, we didn't have someone that was 6'4", 200, just crushing it. That was not in my school system. But I will tell you a story of one gentleman. He was in my brother's class, and he was small. He was under 6 foot. He was probably 140 pounds at his heaviest. He was really fast, and he was very agile. But as a college coach, I can find another student athlete that scores better on the ICT, has a higher GPA, is 6'2", just as fast, if not faster, even more agile. I get to pick from that. That's available for me, right? So why would I pick this kid from small town Oklahoma, not on a great team, pretty small? Why would I pick him? Because he believed in himself. When all the rest of us had Letterman jackets that had our last name, he had Superstar on the back of his. And he walked around believing that he was destined to go play in the NFL. Again, I want you to remind you, he didn't play in clubs. Football was his sport. Track was his sport. Didn't come from a wealthy family. He wasn't above 6 foot. Typically, the college coaches don't recruit student athletes for football below 6 foot. There's a plethora of student athletes at all positions that are above 6 foot, fast, agile, super athletic, right? But he was under 6 foot. Wasn't super big, so it wasn't like he was a small guy that was like 180 of just pure muscle, perfect for your running backs. Nope, he was small. But he believed in himself. He believed that he was going to the NFL, so much so that he nicknamed himself Superstar. And he believed so much that his coaches began to believe in him. He believed so much that he could sell himself to other colleges, other recruiters. And he went and played Division I football on the West Coast at Ivy League school. And then he went on to play in the NFL. Because he believed in himself. It wasn't because he fit the criteria, physically or skill set wise. It's because he believed in himself so much. He sold himself on himself that he sold others on him. And he was willing to fit into wherever he needed to be fit into on the team to be an asset. He loved playing wide receiver or running back. But he was like, you know what? I want to go play so bad. I don't care. Put me on special teams. If that's where you need me, put me on special teams. I don't care. I will work my ass off, and I will believe in myself so much that I will get to go be on the fields that I want to be on. That is the difference in student athletes that go into the next level and the student athletes that have all the capabilities. You've invested thousands of dollars in all these things, and they don't get picked up. So I'm encouraging you to think about, is this $997 an investment that you want to make into your student athlete that could change the trajectory of their life and their ability to achieve their dreams, versus pitching out another $1,000 into another club, another private one-on-one or camp that's just going to work on some skill set stuff. Meanwhile, your student athlete still struggles with believing in themselves, believing in their capability, being resilient under pressure, being able to show up at peak performance during the times that matter. I encourage you to consider that and consider investing into your student athlete's future, whether it's on or off the field. Let me know if you have any questions. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you guys soon, and I'll see your student athletes Wednesday when we start July 26th. It's 6 weeks. We're going to get in some deep work, and we're going to change some mindsets.